So let's start by answering the question, what is UID2 and how does it enhance the experience for the advertisers? So UID2 is an open source framework that was built by the industry participants to upgrade the identity experience for the users. The way it does that is it focuses on four things: openness, standardization, independence, and transparency. So what do these four things mean? When we say open, we mean this is an open standard that was not built specifically by Trade Desk. It was built by the industry standards. Even though we started it, it is something that would be ubiquitous and always be free for everybody in the industry. The second thing, what do we mean by standard? It is going to be governed by independent body. An IAB or somebody will eventually take possession of this, and we as an industry will gather around it and identify what is the governing principles. What this made sure is that this works for everybody, and it's not for advertiser, it's not for publisher, it's not just for consumer, it's for everybody. The third thing, transparency. What this does is it makes the consumer responsible for their destiny. They will always have the option to opt into it and then opt out. They only have to do it once. If they don't decide that, hey, consumer targeting is not for me, they go in, they opt out, and they got opted out from everywhere that UID, from every participant, one single opt-out. So it upgrades their standard. This is something that they have not had for a long time with cookies, but this will replace that and essentially upgrade their experience.
Okay, great. So I want to connect that to what's happening around live events now. But before we do, just maybe broadly, could you answer the question, what's most exciting about live sports opportunities for advertisers?
Yeah, no. So the way live stream is being consumed is going in revolution. If you look at your typical consumer, we did a survey, and YouGov survey, it showed that more than 50% of the consumers choose to watch live sports over a streaming. If you look at younger population, the numbers are even more significant. It is pretty clear at this point that the consumer wants to watch live sports, not on cable, not on their traditional broadcast. They want to watch it on streaming. What that does is it changes the way sort of the industry operates. If you look at the major networks, they have realized that the streaming is the future of it. And even though the live sports was sort of for a long time for linear space, they were using it as their savior, which is like, hey, this is how we build massive audience. But as those networks are moving into streaming, they are realizing that live sports could be the exact same thing for streaming, which means if you can take these big tentpole events and you can put them on streaming, you can build massive audience. Live sports is very unique in a way that it gives an advertiser an opportunity that they have never had. So it allows them to target the user, their own custom audience, in a place and time where they are most engaged. So think overtimes, think the end of the games. This is the places where, if you look at the traditional media, they have already capped out. They sold them on CPM at a certain reach and frequency. In the overtime, they're just throwing this media away. So from an advertiser's perspective, that additional 10, 20, 30 minutes is the media that they have traditionally thrown away. Programmatic and in live stream allows them to monetize that, those intense movements when you have customers 100% attention, and target them in those specific moments in a manner that they want.
All right, perfect. Now let's bring it all together. How does UID2 connect to live events?
Yeah, so UID2 allows a personal connection to the user. Because it is not rooted in a derivative identity, it is an identifier that's tied to the consumer directly. And it allows the brand to find this consumer across different platforms. So it could be on a PC, in a display environment, it could be on a streaming environment, but because the UID2 is almost its backbone of identity, it allows the advertiser to find them across different devices, which means in live sports environment, they can go take a data that they have built in a display universe and then tie it to the streaming environment where the data may be much harder to find. And just tie those two together and target their own consumers in those moments when the consumer is most engaged.